Hello and welcome to Byju's Exam Prep. Welcome to the daily quiz discussion for the 15th of September 2022. Before we begin, a few important announcements. On the 17th of September at 6 p.m., join us live on our Byju's Exam Prep app for a workshop titled Roadmap to Excel in UPSC CSC. This session will be handled by our senior faculty, Chetan sir. This workshop will deal with important questions that any aspirant faces during the course of his or her preparation. How to plan prelims and mains preparation, how to choose an optional subject, how to manage current affairs, how to stay motivated, and how to plan time management. These aspects will be dealt with by Sir in the workshop discussion. Importantly, note that this workshop is exclusively available only on the Byju's Exam Prep app. So you need to download the app and register for the workshop. You can find the registration link in the description box below. Also, as part of our ongoing series on political thinkers and ideas, today join us live at 7 p.m. on our Telegram channel for a discussion on Aristotle, the famous Western philosopher and thinker. This series is planned to help you in papers such as Essay and General Studies Paper 4, Ethics and Integrity. Also, tomorrow, that is the 16th of September, that is Friday, join us live at 8 p.m. on our YouTube channel for the weekly current affairs series. This week, the topic of discussion would be the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. This topic gains significance amidst the ongoing summit in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Beginning with the first question of the day. It reads, consider the following statements about Hoysaleshwara Temple of Halebeed, Karnataka. There are three question statements given here. The first statement reads, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The second statement reads, the construction of the temple was sponsored by King Vishnuvardhana of the Hoysala Empire. And the third statement reads, the major material used in its construction is soapstone. Which of the above statements are correct? Please have a look at the options given below. Now let us understand the context to this question. This article from today's The Hindu takes note of the visit of an expert from the International Commission on Monuments and Sites to the Hoysaleshwara Temple of Halebeed. Note, the Hoysala Temple is an aspirant for the tag of World Heritage Site, and this visit is intended to submit a report on the same to UNESCO. With this understanding, let's come back to the question. From our previous discussion, it becomes clear that the Hoysaleshwara Temple of Halebeed is not yet a World Heritage Site. It is an aspirant. Hence, the first statement becomes wrong. Consider the second statement. This statement is correct. It was King Vishnuvardhana, who was an emperor of the Hoysala dynasty, who sponsored the construction of the temple. Note, the Hoysala Empire ruled in what is today Karnataka. It existed between 10th to 14th centuries. The capital of the Hoysalas was initially located at Belur, but it was later moved to Halebeed, the location of the Hoysaleshwara temple. Other famous temple associated with the king Vishnuvardhana include the Chennakeshava temple, which is also known for its intricate architectural style. This style is popularly referred to as the Hoysala style of temple architecture. Consider the third statement. This statement is correct. Most of Hoysala architecture based temples are made up of soapstone. Note, soapstone is a type of metamorphic rock which is known for its excellent carvings ability. Since the question asks for the correct statements, the answer to this question would be option B, 2 and 3 only. Also observe in this question, just by knowing what are the World Heritage Sites in India of UNESCO, you could have arrived at the answer. Just by eliminating option 1, you could have eliminated all the three options and arrived at option B. Moving on to the second question. It reads, which of the following statements about Sir M. Vishveshwaraya are correct? There are three question statements given here. The first one reads, being a civil engineer, he is credited with the development of notable dams, reservoirs, and hydropower projects in India and the invention of the block system in irrigation technology. The second statement reads, he served as the Diwan of Hyderabad under the Nizams. The third statement reads, Some of his notable literary works include Reconstructing India and Planned Economy for India. Please have a look at the options given. What is the context? Today, September 15th, is the birth anniversary of Sir M. Vishveshwaraya. And in acknowledgement of his immense contributions in the field of engineering, his birthday is celebrated as Engineers Day not only in India but also in Sri Lanka and Tanzania. Note, he was the first Indian civil engineer and he also served as the 19th Diwan of Mysore. He served as Diwan of Mysore between 1912 to 1918. Coming back to the question, consider the first statement. This statement is correct. As discussed earlier, he was the first Indian civil engineer and is credited with the development of notable dams, reservoirs, and hydropower projects. And among this, the most notable was his contribution in the construction of the KRS Dam in Mysore. Here, KRS stands for Krishnaraja Sagar Dam. The block system was also invented by Sir M. Vishveshwaraya. It included automated doors that close the water overflows in the reservoir. This was first installed at Kadakvasla Reservoir in Pune. His most notable contribution came in the form of the flood control system that he helped design and develop in the city of Hyderabad under the Nizams. Consider the second statement. This statement is wrong because he served as the Diwan of the state of Mysore and not Hyderabad. Next, consider the third statement. This statement is correct. Vishveshwaraya is regarded as a pioneer of economic planning in India. His book, Planned Economy for India, which was published in the year 1934, suggested a 10-year plan with an outlay of 1000 crore. He had a grand vision for the economic development of India. Since the question asks for the correct statements, the answer to this question would be option C, 1 and 3 only. Next, moving on to the third question. The question reads, consider the following rivers. Four rivers are mentioned here: Teesta, Feni, Kushiara, and Umgot. How many of the above rivers are transboundary rivers between India and Bangladesh? Please have a look at the options given. What is the context? This article from today's The Indian Express talks about the unresolved river sharing issues between India and Bangladesh. And in this context, the article analyzes the issues and makes some recommendations to solve them. Coming back to the question, the answer to this question is all the four rivers. Teesta, Feni, Kushiara as well as Umgot are transboundary rivers between India and Bangladesh. Now let us briefly understand each of these rivers. Teesta River rises in the eastern Himalayas, flows through the Indian states of Sikkim and West Bengal before flowing into Bangladesh. While Feni River is a transboundary river between Bangladesh and the Tripura state of India. Kushiara River is a distributary river of the Barak River. It flows between the Indian state of Assam and Bangladesh. While Umgot is a transboundary river between Bangladesh and the Indian state of Meghalaya. Please note, there are approximately around 50 both small as well as big transboundary rivers between India and Bangladesh. Moving on to the fourth question. It reads, the Shunya campaign of Niti Aayog deals with which of the following aspects? The options are as follows. A. Accelerating adoption of electric vehicles. B. Addressing malnutrition in children. C. Tackling the incidence of tuberculosis disease. And option D. Reduction of plastic waste generation. What is the context? This article from the PAB takes note of Niti Aayog celebrating the first anniversary of the Shunya campaign. Now let us understand what this campaign is all about. Shunya campaign is India's zero pollution e-mobility campaign. The campaign also includes consumer awareness campaign to reduce air pollution by the promotion of use of electric vehicles for ride hailing as well as in the delivery segments. The campaign has around 130 industry partners including ride hailing, delivery and EV companies, electrical vehicle companies. Coming back to the question, from our discussion it is clear that the answer is option A, accelerating adoption of electric vehicles. Moving on to the last question of the day. This is a question from the UPSC 29 prelims paper. The question reads, with reference to Swadeshi movement, consider the following statements. The first statement, it contributed to the revival of the indigenous artisan crafts and industries. And the second statement reads, the National Council of Education was established as a part of the Swadeshi movement. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Please have a look at the options. The correct answer to this question is option C, both 1 and 2. Please note, the Swadeshi movement was launched in the year 1905. It was launched as a protest against the partition of Bengal, which was announced by the then Viceroy of India, Lord Curzon. And as a part of this movement, Swadeshi textile mills, soap, tobacco and match factories, banks, etc. were established to emphasize the positive aspect of the Swadeshi movement. Therefore, we can say that it contributed to the revival of indigenous artisan crafts and industries. Hence, the first statement is correct. Also note, the National Council of Education was established in Bengal in 1906 as a part of the Swadeshi movement. It intended to promote technical education in India as a part of the Swadeshi industrialization movement. Moving on to the fact of the day, female labor force participation rate. What is the context? This article from the Indian Express takes note of the India Discrimination Report recently compiled by the NGO Oxfam India. The NGO claims that this report is based on data from the Union Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. The report takes note of the discrimination against women in the labor market. Discrimination in the labor market is when people with identical capabilities are treated differently because of their identity or social background. And this does not augur well either for the economy or for inclusive development. The report notes that even if both a man and a woman start on equal footing, the woman will be discriminated in the economic sphere, due to which she will lag behind in overall development. One of the most notable observations made by the report is the fall in the female labor force participation rate. Now, what do we mean by female labor force participation rate? It is the proportion of working age population of women that engages actively in the labor market. And when I mean actively engage in the labor market, they can be either working or looking for work. Notably, the female labor force participation rate in India has declined from 42.7% in 2004-2005 to 25.1% in 2021. This is indicative of the withdrawal of women from the workforce despite the rapid economic growth that has been taking place in India during the same time. Other notable observations made by the report is the fact that while 60% of all males aged 15 and above have regular salaried or self-employed jobs, this percentage for women stands at a low of 19%. Also, women are earning far less compared to men when it comes to regular or self-employment jobs in urban areas. Notably, this discrimination is also found in SC, ST communities as well as minorities such as the Muslims. The report calls for urgent state action to address this discrimination. This is all we have for today's discussion. Thank you for being with us.